Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered if those little lines are telling you something more about your health? Well, today we're going to dig into the incredible science that actually connects how you look on the outside to what's really going on inside. And believe me, it's a story that goes way, way deeper than just your skin. So let's just dive right in with the big question. Is trying to look younger just about vanity? Or is it maybe a signpost for living a longer, healthier life? Well, it turns out the science is pretty clear. Your face might actually be one of the best ways to get a sneak peek at your true biological age.
And this right here, this is a really powerful point. Back in 2012, a study did something fascinating. They showed people photos and just asked them to guess the person's age. The ones who looked older than they actually were, they were way more likely to die sooner. It's a bit of a wake-up call, right? It shows that the aging we see on the surface is a direct reflection of what's happening inside our bodies.
Okay, so to really get why our appearance and our health are so connected, we need to start with the foundation, the literal framework of our bodies. And it all comes down to this one protein you've definitely heard of, but you might not realize just how critical it is for, well, pretty much everything. And that protein is, of course, collagen. And it's not just some ingredient in a fancy face cream. It's the real deal. It's the glue that holds you together. I mean, the name literally comes from the Greek word for glue, colla. Think of it like the scaffolding of a building, but for your entire body. It gives everything its strength, its shape, its structure. And get this, collagen isn't some minor protein. It makes up a massive 30% of all the protein in your body. I mean, think about that. Almost a third of the stuff that physically makes you you is this one protein. It's absolutely fundamental. And you find it literally everywhere. It's what makes your skin look plump and youthful, what gives your bones their toughness, and keeps your joints from creaking. But it goes deeper. It's the structure for the 60,000 miles of blood vessels in your body. It's in your heart valves, even the discs in your spine. It's truly the unsung hero of our body. But, and this is the important part, here's the catch. Right around age 25, our body's little collagen factory starts to slow down production. You don't really notice it at first, but this slow decline is what really kicks off what we think of as aging. The wrinkles, the achy joints, even wounds taking a bit longer to heal. It's this slow, steady process. But the good news is we can definitely influence it. So, if our natural collagen is on the decline, what can we possibly do about it? Well, the answer really comes down to what you put in your body. Let's talk about the fuel you need to help rebuild and protect your skin from the inside out. All right, now this is where things might flip what you've always heard on its head. We're constantly told to avoid saturated fat and cholesterol. But here's the skin's reality. Your skin is literally made of protein and saturated fat. And cholesterol? It's absolutely essential for building healthy cells and the hormones that keep us feeling and looking young. Now, if fats are the building blocks, think of vitamins as the construction crew. Vitamin A is like the foreman who tells your genes, okay, time to make some collagen. Vitamin C is like the essential tool that the workers, the enzymes, need to actually assemble the collagen. And vitamin E? That's your security guard, protecting the whole operation from damage and aging. You need the whole team.
Okay, so we know what to build our skin with, but what about the things that are actively trying to tear it down? Because this really is a battle, and you've got to know your enemy. So let's look at the main culprits. One of the biggest villains in this whole story is something with a very fitting name: ages. Yep, AGES. Here's how it works. When sugar and protein get together in your body, they create these sticky proteins. Seriously, imagine pouring maple syrup all over the gears of a machine. It just gums up the works, making everything stiff and dysfunctional, from your skin to your arteries. And that leads directly to wrinkles. And the attacks don't stop there. Chronic stress floods you with cortisol, the aging hormone. The sun's UV rays literally damage your DNA. And then you have these things called zombie cells. No joke. These are damaged cells that basically refuse to die. But they don't just hang around doing nothing. They spew out all this inflammatory junk that ages all the healthy cells around them. They're like these tiny, toxic factories setting up shop in your skin. So with all these things working against us, how do we possibly fight back? Well, the great news is that the science points to a really clear toolkit. You can think of it as a strategy to build, protect, and repair. And this really lays out the whole game plan. First, you've got to play offense. You feed your skin the right building materials, those healthy fats and key vitamins we talked about. Then you've got to play defense. Cut way back on sugar to stop those sticky AGs from ever forming. Protect your skin from the sun.
Work on managing your stress to keep that cortisol hormone down. And finally, you can bring in the special forces, like topical retinoids, which are just a form of vitamin A, that are proven to kickstart that collagen production right where you want it. So you see, when we talk about looking younger, it's not superficial. What we're really talking about is our health at a cellular level. Your skin is just the mirror reflecting everything that's happening on a much deeper level. So the journey to looking better on the outside is really the same journey as living a longer, healthier, more vibrant life on the inside. So as you go about the rest of your day, just ask yourself this one question. Are my choices today building me up, or are they breaking me down? Every meal you eat, every bit of stress you feel, every moment you take to relax, it's all a choice. It's a chance to either turn your biological clock forward, or maybe, just maybe, turn it back a little. Thanks so much for tuning in.